Welcome to Glorified Dress Up, the only show where we dress up a whole bunch of shit like a whole nother bunch of shit to see what the best cosplay really is. I'm your guest, Colin Padgett-Arnold, and here are your hosts, Emmy Award-nominated producers of Heroes of Cosplay, Cat and Zakira.
Yeah! We produce Heroes of Cosplay.
You have to blame us for that. Thank you, Colin. And yes, that is our special guest today. Our first guest, actually.
Hi.
First guest.
How you guys doing?
Anyway, we don't have a lot to talk about. It's mainly a Zakira episode again, because
I know. It's
she's
completely boring.
Nah, whatever. But, first thing we're going to talk about is her progress.
As in what I've spent the last couple of days posting and tweeting about.
We mentioned last month, she's being a Viera, Sniper Viera. Is it Sniper Viera?
Yeah,
right?
Sniper
Yeah,
Viera.
okay. You have how many weeks left?
Not a lot.
Yeah. What happened to your
Yeah.
bunny ears?
Yeah, I think it's...
I've had the bunny ears for like 2 years when this was supposed to be a group.
You've got,
Oh, yeah.
4 months?
Forgot.
4 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Stop it! Okay.
Look, I'm not nervous about getting it done in time.
You better not do it at the con.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I'm not letting you do it.
I'm not gonna go to the con. You guys won't have a hotel room.
Okay, so about your bow progress, can you tell us what you did?
I used that expanding foam tutorial thing, like from Kamui. Yeah, she's got the prop books and stuff.
Isn't that Kamui?
Kamui?
Yeah.
No, it's Kamui.
Oh.
I thought it was Kamui.
Because, there's the... Oh, man, there's the old Japanese, manga, movie, anime thing that's, Dagger Kamui.
It's
I don't know. I have a southern accent. Don't trust me ever.
She's the German cosplayer that, I creepily stalk, because she's...
The one that I need to teach me how to do Warbler. Right?
Yeah, she's the Warbler queen. She's so amazing, and I love her. I'm sorry, I'm creeping out here.
Pronouncing it.
I don't know.
I thought it was Kamui, Suikoden.
It might be. I don't know. Maybe we should just send
Anyway,
her.
there's a cosplayer
I don't like this
out
guess
there
is making
with
us
an expanding
tangent.
foam tutorial that I based this off of, and even though I'm not doing something gigantic, because
We have the bow here, actually.
The bow's here because I have not
the
let go
studio.
of it, but I've only been working on it for 3 days, and I'm pretty much done with the base.
Basically what we did, Zakira and I sketched out half of a bow onto a poster board, and mine looked too much like a harp, but hers was the design that she wanted. And you based it off of something. Was it Bravely Default? Or was it...
like Bravely Default or another Final Fantasy game, because the reference photos for things that aren't swords are really bad. And I thought maybe I could do a Bravely Default weapon, but it was too much detail for this 4 weeks of time that I have left. I was more worried about painting, so I go with super basic and doing a long bow.
Yep, and when we had the poster board, cut it in half, and then we basically mirrored the design just to see if it looked correct or not. Yeah. And Zakira, I'm so proud of Zakira, she actually took progress pictures. Yeah. Everyone clap for her, yeah.
I used to never take pictures of anything. I'm even in 2 of those progress pictures I took.
That's weird, but...
I don't take pictures of myself.
Yeah. So, what's the next thing you did afterwards? You got the one-dimension version of this.
Yeah, I cleaned up the shape, and I glued it to a dowel, and I'm not going to talk about the struggle I went through to...
No, go on. No, tell it.
What?
The struggle is real.
Yeah, this is part of the process.
Well, we have this really crappy old handsaw, so, on my break, and I ended up, a minute or 2 late back from work to do this, I gotta cut this dowel so I can glue this while I'm at work while I'm taking phone calls.
Zakira, I have a jeweler's saw that would have done it in 2 seconds.
Probably!
You realize I have a Dremel right over there, too, so...
Oh, well, you guys weren't at my house.
As a note, for listeners of the show, if you ever need a saw type tool to cut anything, look into a jeweler's saw. It's a tiny little hacksaw that has tiny little blades, and they're very cute. And they're what people used to cut really minute amounts of copper and gold and stuff, and they can cut through wood, they can cut through steel. Well, I guess
dude, that's a note for myself.
I haven't done it with steel in a long time, but thin steel, yeah. But yeah, it can knock out things really, really delicately. If you rub paraffin wax up and down the blade, You can do really, really tight turns without snapping the blade. They're really useful. They don't dull that fast, and like you can get a pack of like 15 blades for like $3. It's probably the best tool that I have for cutting anything.
Well,
Nice.
next time I need to cut something, now I know.
Now
Anyway,
you know.
I glued these 2 mirrored pieces to this dowel, and then I added extra bits so it would have more of a 3-dimensional skeleton sort of shape. And then I sprayed the crap out of it with expanding foam.
That was fun.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was interesting, and I guess one of our friends laughed at me about it because I was too much of a wuss. I'm like, oh, I hope this is okay. But I basically used almost an entire can on one side, and like a lot less than that on the other side.
She ran out almost. You almost ran out, didn't you, on your other side?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you have patches
No,
on the
like-
other side, okay.
Like, what happened was, I'm guessing this was the first side, and I used almost the entire can on the first side, so when I flipped it over to start spraying the other side, I got, like, maybe, a third of the can out of that for the other side,
Nice.
until I had to move on to the second can. Like, well, at least I know not to use that much anymore, so I still have enough to fill
Okay, that's
these
good.
cheese holes.
Yep. Cheese bow.
Yeah, it kind of looks like cheese now.
So what's your next step that you plan to do?
Fill up these gaps, I guess. Well, I guess smooth out certain parts of it, like the handle area needs to be a little bit thinner, and then fill in gaps.
Can you sand that? I don't know. I didn't know if you could sand expanding foam.
Oh yeah, you can sand expanding.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have that.
I wouldn't use sandpaper though for it. I'd get a grater if you could, but that would cost money, and sandpaper is like
And,
really
you know,
cheap.
time.
No, it was, like, the next step from, I guess, like, after you have the shape that you need, you would wrap it. Or, I guess Kelly used a filler or something.
She used I think just like wall putty for filling in like nail holes and stuff.
There's some some cosplayers that use wood glue too.
Oh,
As
okay.
like small fillings.
Wood glue's really good. It's really hard. It's easy to sand.
Yeah, so
Oh, well, that cosplayer whose name we apparently cannot pronounce correctly, just used masking tape to cover it up. And then she went over it with paper mache, which will be my favorite part.
yeah.
And then she used wallpaper paste or something over
Yeah.
it, which I don't know where I could find right now.
Home Depot?
You could probably use gesso too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then I've got
Gesso
pretty sure I have
and
plenty of gesso.
Mod Podge or Mod Podge,
Definitely
since
have
we
a
always
lot
pronounce it
of
I have a
wrong.
liter of gesso.
Okay,
You're
alright.
more than welcome to use it.
Well, there you go. So.
And then after that, I do painting.
Oh, and guess what? Kamui, since I'm still pronouncing it that way,
Okay.
she actually has a tutorial in one of her books of how to make organic paintings, and like organic lines for wood and stuff like that. So I'll show you that too.
Okay, yeah, send that to me.
Yes.
That's a really good skill to learn, because my mom did that for our door when she renovated her house.
Nice.
And she painted a steel door to look like wood, and literally, I grew up with that door, and I can't tell it's not wood.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't. It's like I can't believe it's leather, but I can't tell it's wood.
I can't believe it's not wood.
Yep. All right. So that. Oh, you're using elastic thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I would use, like, those, what are those little screw things that you could, like, put on keychains?
Eye hooks.
Eyelet hook?
Or yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have a whole bunch of those from when I attempted to make keychains. I
Nice.
figured I would use those on the ends.
Oh, okay.
To put on
Yeah,
the
make
last
sure it's secured because with my Flandre wings, before I used, PVC piping, it was really hard to like screw those things in.
Oh, yeah, I
So
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a struggle. Anyway, since you do have the bow part,
What else do I have?
what about the arrow? Like, are you gonna have an
I
arrow
love
for the
that
bow?
show. Oh man, that like premieres. Oh man, the one on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now.
Oh, so you're not mad anymore about
No,
things?
I'm not.
Okay, you're
Well,
good.
I'm still mad about other things, but we won't go into that.
Okay. I think I left, like, 2 dowels somewhere in this room that were, like, thinner.
May or may not be packed.
I'll just buy them.
Actually, wait, it's over there. I see.
Okay.
We'll do it after the
I
the show.
will make
But-
an attempt to use those dowels to make one actual arrow and then a bunch of other
Make sure,
arrows.
and then you also have to get approval from NekoCon staff personnel for weaponry, and make sure you're not actually like using it. And
I'll just nerf dart them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, at worst, they'll make you piece bonded. At best, you can show that, like, the string that's on it has no elasticity, that the bow doesn't bend, that the arrows are made out of felt. and wood.
But-
yeah.
yeah,
So
not
okay, so at
dangerous
least you
things.
did have a plan for that part of your costume. Did you do anything else with the Viera?
I've had the ears for 2 years. When this was supposed to be a group cosplay.
Well, you know how our group, like how our friends work, is one person has to just start it, and
somebody
the other one's
has
like...
to initiate it.
Yeah, so the other one just like, okay, I'm gonna do it too.
It wasn't until you started it, though, that I got my anxiety panic attack about doing my end of it, though.
That's why I was like... Well, I'm sorry that you started to get more anxiety about it. I figured if I was able to make progress, you would feel a little bit better.
Once
in the costume.
Yeah, and once
Like,
I get my
hard.
sewing machine...
For, what was it, the soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, once I have the gloves, like, I haven't finished the gloves completely, but I know what I'm gonna do with them, and I don't feel worried about them. Soldier has the same gloves, so I figured, maybe if I can finish the gloves.
Soldier has the same gloves, and it has the same stupid little cuff thing on the boots, and also the thigh highs, and I'd have to make a beret, and a cowl, and a cape, and a shirt, and armor, and we know how armor went last time for me. Really badly.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
actually, that's gonna be really fun to talk about.
Oh boy.
But
talk about my man.
So basically, this project, the VR Final Fantasy Tactics project, was that like 50 million of our friends were like, okay, I'll be the red mage, I'll be the elementalist, I'll be blah blah blah. Chris wanted to be the
Blue Mage?
Blue Mage because he wanted to be a pimp with all the bunny girls. I remember that part.
I remember for a while we kept going back and forth between Red Mage, Green Mage.
And
like, we both want to be Red Mage and Green Mage. Like, okay, I'm gonna back down for Red Mage, but who do I want to be? Sniper or Assassin?
And no, it was pretty, like, that was pretty intense. Like, even got to the point that I think wanted, actually wait, I probably shouldn't say her name. Person A wanted to be Red Mage as well, and we're like, I want to be it. And it's just like this
somebody
mutual...
else wanted to be an Elementalist.
No doubles in our cosplay
There's
crew.
only one person I can think of wanted to be the Elementalist.
Yeah.
One person wanted to be a White Mage.
Yeah, so that kind of worked out. And we even got as far as getting the patterns for these costumes, but thank you, Zakira, for actually initiating it. Maybe we'll get this group to happen in 3 years. In 3 years, give us some time.
I don't believe you guys. It took a year for Toho, and that kind of just happened because, you know, you were gone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna cosplay a Toho and enter a hall costume contest.
Yeah, I can't compete against you. I'm sorry.
You can't.
Just as a side note.
You know what you guys should all do? You should all be Bridget from Guilty Gear together.
Shut
Just
up.
like a whole army of
Whoa! Whoa!
Dirty Val.
Blast from the past right there. Okay, let's move on.
let's just save that for another time.
Yeah. Alright, so besides the gloves and the bow, you don't really have much for the costume. I know you chose your
I have like
fabric.
a pattern cut out.
Okay.
General idea of how I'm gonna sew it up. I'm not worried about the dress, basically.
Okay, that's good.
I think I'm more worried about like how I'm making the
hat?
the thing for the bows, for the thing for the arrows.
The thing, the feather, the tassels?
What's
Are
the
that
thing
what
that
it's
holds arrows?
A quiver.
A quiver.
Oh, that
I'm worried
thing.
about that.
Wow, we don't know words.
Yeah.
I don't know words. And then making a bunch of belts because it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, things.
And that's about
Sounds
it.
like you're...
Another thing about Soldier, like 3 belts.
Yeah.
Who has got one's like 3 inches long.
Yeah, I also have like 2 3-inch long belts and 2 thinner belts. Also have like a little pack.
One of these days I'll finish Red Mage. One of these days. Probably if they announce Final Fantasy XIV's new class, race is Viera's, then I'll do it.
I believe you.
Oh,
I
man.
believe you.
If
That's what it's gonna take.
If
Yeah.
that first expansion isn't 1 Viera and 2 Red Mage, I'm gonna be upset.
I'm gonna be
But
mad.
they're not getting my money right now anyway, so.
Yeah, but... Okay, so you're pretty much... That's your progress for Viera. You're not worried. So that's good.
Fabric.com sent me the wrong fabric.
Is this for Viera?
For Viera.
Oh, I thought that was something else. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
then
no.
yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
go on.
So, the stuff that I'm making the belts and little bag thing out of, I got 2 different types of brown vinyl, and they sent me one of them, and then they sent me some blue and white canvas, which was very strange.
Okay.
And I sent them an email, I'm like, hey, you guys sent me the wrong thing. How do I mail this back? Because they didn't send me a label. And get the right thing. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. Keep it for something else or donate it. We'll send you the right thing. The weird thing was, like, the canvas had the label that said vinyl
Nice.
on it.
Well, that's kind of cool that they let you keep
They
it.
didn't even need proof, because I was, like, ready to take a picture. I tweeted a picture, and I constantly, like, tweeted at fabric.com for a little while.
Nice. So they trust you. So what are you gonna do with that fabric now? Just whatever. Okay.
It's there.
Make some hats.
Yeah, I don't really like it too much.
Okay.
Oh, okay, well, give it to...
Use it as, like, a tarp.
You can use it to like line something.
Yeah, use it as a tarp, actually. Use it when you paint that bow of yours.
I guess I
We can make a tent out of it.
No.
Go camping.
No, okay, we're going to talk about your QB. No, we're not bringing it into this podcast, okay? So, what you do for QB, since your partner's going to NekoCon.
Why would I even want to talk about that costume without my boo
I'm sorry.
being involved?
I'm sorry, $120 worth of wigs has just pretty much stopped me on this costume, okay?
I'm sorry.
Alright, so what'd you do so far with QB, if you did do anything?
Wing stuff, mainly.
Talk about that! What'd you do?
I made new wings out of vinyl.
I think we said that last.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, fine. Did you finally glue it together?
Oh yeah, it's glued together.
Okay.
I have one photo that I texted you.
Yeah. Well, I know about this, but the people that maybe the one person that's listening to this doesn't know, so...
Well, that one person is in this room right now.
That's so depressing. So depressing. Okay, so you didn't have that much vote about QB, but I know you're having a side project for someone.
Making a jacket for a friend. Which went kind of slow because I was dumb and ordered the wrong thing. Like, it started out I was making it out of one certain color scheme because I was like, oh, well, I have all this extra material available and it goes well together, so I'll do that. And then something changed with the color, and that's no big deal, but it's just like, oh, I gotta buy stuff and wait. And then now I'm making a duplicate. So there's that. I know that's not very elaborate. It's just like, hey, I'm making this jacket that I've
Did we ever describe the fabric?
I don't think we have, but just find us on the twitter.com.
On the Twitters.
On the twitter.com and look for the word dick jacket or dick fabric.
That kind of
and that tells you
everything.
The whole story.
Yeah.
But yeah, making this jacket and a hat for a friend, and then now I'm gonna make another one for Friends Bay.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Yeah.
Good.
I ordered like the wrong type of ribbing, and that's all on my end. I can probably use it for something else, but I need to buy... I'm waiting for the correct stuff to get in.
Well, the thing wrong with the ribbing is it's just too thin, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a single
Just get a thin version,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like, you could do something with that.
Yeah, I can use it for the collar, probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
That's good
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, today, actually, it was pretty fun because we have a bunch of people in the other room watching stuff, and 4 people over there have Smash Brothers? 2 of them in this room have Smash Brothers, and this guy over here just turn on Smash Brothers?
Yes, I'm definitely not trying to figure out how to play Lucina right now.
There's so many people just mocking me right now.
Okay, so what happened?
Nope.
Shut up. Alright.
I should have known that things would have gone wrong when we showed up to the midnight release after midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time did you come in?
It was like...
Or when?
It was like 12:10.
We rolled up at 12:15, 12:20.
Oh, gosh.
I know it was definitely before 12:20, but definitely after 12:10.
You guys are great.
Okay, so I have a record, I guess I should say, of pre-ordering games the day before it comes out, or within hours before it's released. So, around 5 o'clock, the day before Smash came out, I pre-ordered. And we went to the pre-order or release thing around midnight.
There's a whole other story.
There is a whole other story.
Oh gosh.
Because you pre-ordered it, and then you came home, and host of Solid Platinum Hit Machine Productions podcast Bracket, Colin Jennings, was like, "Oh, I haven't pre-ordered it. Maybe I can pick one up tonight after midnight. Let me give him a call." And he called up GameStop.
Actually, no, I told him, oh, they won't let you buy it there. But I was wrong, basically.
Yeah. Colin Jennings, hit host of Bracket, at bracketcast.com/Twitter. I don't know. Bracket.
Bracket.
He called up and they're like, yeah, I got plenty of copies. And so, like, and you know, we go off to dinner, and then we come back to pick up Colin.
And
What's
then
the
we
time
got
frame
2
right
other
now?
people.
Yeah,
It's
and-
like, this is midnight by the time we get back.
Okay.
And as I come into the house to get Cullen, there's 2 other people who are coming out of their room, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we were thinking about going to get Smash Bros. We just called, and they have additional copies." And we're like, "So are we." So we all hop in the car together, and we drive.
This is
over
5
to
people
GameStop.
going to get Smash?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I wasn't even planning on getting it. I walked out of there with it.
That's funny because, like...
Oh yeah, I just kind of bought it for him.
Yeah, like today, actually, Chris,
They kidnapped him.
They kidnapped my husband. Like 5 grown men kidnapped my husband and came back, and he has now his own copy of Smash. Like, wow.
He doesn't even use his DS. I haven't street passed him in years.
Actually, his DS was on. I charged it because I wanted to check and see if I could play Smash Bros. On his DS, but I couldn't because he needed to update it, which they did when they kidnapped him.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically everyone has Smash except me. But that's gonna change in, like, 2 weeks. But whatever. That's something different. What happened to you, Zakira? Go on with your story since we went to, like, 3 different tangents.
Well, we're in the car, so you're at the car, and you're playing Smash Brothers, and you're like, hell yeah, villager. And then you go home, and then you go spray expanding foam on your bow skeleton, and then you play Smash Bros again. And then you go to bed, and then you go do whatever it is you need to do in the morning, because you're an adult and you have to go to work. And then you go home, and you're on your break, and you want to play Smash Brothers. But you can't, because apparently you have to make another save file, and you don't have room on your SD card.
Spooky!
My SD card is corrupted. Spooky!
Too spooky. I said it too early. Whatever. I said it too early. I was just too excited.
It was just a lot of anger for the last day, I guess, because, I went home on my break, and I went into the show, I was like, hey, you should play Smash Brothers, and then I told him that he broke my DS, but... yeah, DS is corrupted. We went to GameStop, and I tried to trade it out, see what happened. They're like, oh, yeah.
Well, first, we knew the people that were there.
Oh, yeah. We knew the people who worked at the GameStop. Luckily, we knew both of them, so I walked in angrily, demanding a refund.
I demand a refund! So, you know...
I guess, like, at this point in time, it's like, either the cartridge was, like, faulty or something, or my SD card was corrupted.
So we looked up...
the SD card was corrupted.
Yeah, but what we thought, like, before, Chris looked it up, and I guess there was some people having the same, very similar issue of Zakira's problem. So we're like, oh, it's a faulty cartridge. No, we, go over to the GameStop. They're cool with it. They ended up giving her
somebody else's reserve.
And just didn't even exchange for it.
Yeah.
She goes into the game, like, in the GameStop right then and there. She puts in the cartridge, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, this is awkward. And so she, like...
I've had sad Charlie Brown music in my head since.
Yeah. So we ended up buying a new SD card entirely, and now we know it works.
Yeah.
For now, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Now you can play that villager. Get that village stuff.
I mean, I need to get my backed up 3DS stuff from my external.
Yeah. So everyone's Smash Bros now, except me.
Except for me.
Except me! You actually have the game.
That I can't play at the moment.
I can't play it because it doesn't exist. My copy is not here.
You don't even know where your DS is.
Yeah, I do. It's in my bag, packed up.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Side note, I am, like, not gonna be local soon, so whatever.
Cat's leaving me. Again.
I came back, okay?
I know, thank you for coming back. I'm just sad that you're leaving
Again.
sooner than planned.
Well, this means that you're obligated to follow her this time.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. You too.
Especially
You
now
too.
that my
Both of
parents,
you.
Like, when I told my mom that you were leaving, like, why don't you just go move with her? I'm like, the first time it happened, she's like, you can't survive on your own.
Aww.
I was like 20 when that happened.
Well, now she knows you can survive on your own because you can buy alcohol by yourself, and you haven't died yet, so...
I don't know.
Let's not talk about alcohol.
Anyway.
Not dying.
Yeah, that's something that we could do one day. Go to an adventure and field trips and... Not field trips, road trips.
Road trip.
Whatever. That's
Road
a
trip to alcohol?
Sure. Okay, have we mentioned, I think we mentioned it, we screamed it out last month about Chicky Waffs, and that meet still happening?
Chicky Waffs Meetup.
Yeah.
Chicken and Waffles Meetup.
Chicky Waffs.
Do
we actually have official information? Because this is kind of the episode before NekoCon.
This is the episode before NekoCon. Hopefully I don't change anything that I'm about to say in the near future.
She has a witness. We have a witness here, so...
I love chicken and waffles, so let's not renege on a Chicky Waffs meetup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what day would be better. Friday or Saturday? I think Friday would be better.
Oh man, I'm not getting Friday off though. What time were you thinking about doing it?
At least like after 9 or 10.
Like late. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it would be a late night thing, because I'm not going to be awake early enough to do that.
I'm doing shots outside of that IHOP thing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's at the IHOP then.
Speaking of, well, no, I don't know what the location is, because I haven't looked.
Oh, this is a terrible information.
Oh, man, I'm looking up.
I will tweet something. No, wait. I'm going somewhere with this not knowing the location thing.
Okay.
So while Bethany and I were on our way to Williamsburg like 2 weeks ago, we passed a place that's in Hampton called like Angelo's Steak and Pancake House, which sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
Steak and Pancake House.
It's almost Chicky Waffs.
Almost Chicky Waffs. I looked at their menu, and they do have waffles, but I did not see chicken and waffles,
I'm
which
looking
is
at it
lame.
right now.
Yeah. That's kind
Want to know what's lamer? They're only open until 10.
Yeah, that is really.
Well, this is.
I know, but I'm just saying it sounded almost perfect.
I'm going back to Google and IHOP Hampton Roads.
Yeah, the IHOP is fine. It would probably be best to do the IHOP. I don't remember how far the driving distance is from the convention center, but it's not that far. It's like a couple of lights away.
Oh, right. It's on Mercury Boulevard, so...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you guys are fine. You're good. I actually know where that is.
Yeah, and it's an IHOP that's actually open 24/7, because unfortunately there are IHOPs that close at midnight. Fuck those IHOPs.
Yeah.
The address is 1002 West Mercury Boulevard, if you would like to come and get chicken and waffles.
You don't have to get chicken and waffles.
Can you pronounce? When you order, can you say it like that though?
No, you have to get chicken and waffles, and if you don't, dip the chicken in honey mustard, and then dip the waffle in syrup, and then put both in your mouth at the same time. Then I cannot be friends with you. I'm sorry. That is the correct way.
I'm apparently not friends with Colin.
Just an FYI, Colin is not the organizer of this event, so you don't have to do that. That is not mandatory, unless you want to be friends with Colin. And I don't know if you actually want to do that.
That is the proper way to enjoy chicken and waffles together in breakfast bliss.
To be fair, it is pretty good. I'll give you that. It's good.
Okay, so the easiest venue will be IHOP until further notice. I mean, unless something else happens. And it would be Friday.
A comet hits the IHOP. IHOP closes.
Do not wish that on me. I can't handle that.
I would say, so that IHOP
No, actually, that's funny because was it the Jewish Mother that was here a while back? There's this one place my bunch of friends and I wanted to go to called the Jewish Mother, and I have no idea what it was. I've never been there.
Jumaz.
So, I don't know.
The Jewish Mother was a really good. Well, it's still around.
One particular one that we wanted to go.
There was one in downtown Virginia Beach that was it's like a really good like deli breakfast place kind of thing. And then they were gonna move locations to an old discotheque. But they had to renovate it for like half a year. Yeah. So while they were renovating it, they took over the backstage tavern at the Norba.
Yeah.
And so
Well, the whatever one it was, because I guess because they moved their destination, we planned, okay, we're gonna go there. Let's go, this upcoming Saturday. We didn't go. And then we're like, okay, we'll do it next Saturday. So 2 weeks in, as soon as we're about to go, they closed down the place. So we're like, well, so that happens. So just letting you know that comet hitting that IHOP might happen.
It is Hampton.
It is also Hampton.
Yeah.
But,
what was I saying? Yeah, so Friday night, definitely after 10 o'clock, preferably before 2 a.m. because of club people.
What are you, you will see, what, a bunny girl or a cute bee girl?
I don't know what I'll be wearing.
Okay, well, you gotta tell them so they know where they're meeting up with.
I'll let you know via a tweet. or a Tumblr post.
Probably Tumblr posts, because we have...
both.
Yeah, probably
both.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Put a sign, be like, hello, my name is Zakira from Glorified Dress Up, maybe? I don't know.
Ask me
Don't
about
do that.
goddamn cosplay.
Well, we're gonna rent out the entire IHOP and not let anyone in unless they're associated with Chicky Waff Meetup, right?
Right, yeah. Or
do we
if
have
they're
that money?
club people that are not douchebags. It's okay to be a club person, just don't be a jerk.
So we have here in our notes about something called painkillers drink and how you would want to...
Oh, lordy.
Okay. This is, we were just tossing ideas of like, what do you want to drink?
I don't remember what the note was about, but painkillers are pretty good.
Well, no, like, was it an actual drink, I think we said?
Yeah, it's an actual thing.
And how it would be good to drink in cosplay, or... I think we could just kind of threw it out just to validate it.
Be good to drink.
Yeah,
I think it's a little too ingredient heavy to be a good con drink, but...
You know, it's going to be
good.
A good
well, okay, what's in painkillers first before you say that?
Painkillers is orange juice, pineapple juice, coconut milk, and rum.
Cream of coconut.
Cream of coconut.
Get it right now, just kidding. Okay, well, that actually sounds pretty good.
Well, it's really good.
I think the day we tried the painkiller, we found another drink that would be a lot easier for cons.
Yeah.
Purple Rain.
Oh, what was...
That was good.
I don't remember what's in it, but it was like... essentially a blue drink, and you pour grenadine in it to give you that.
Wasn't it like
rain.
it wasn't blue curacao? It was
blue curacao, grenadine, and maybe cranberry juice.
I thought it was like Sprite or something.
It might have been Sprite.
Yeah, and
the important thing is it's purple.
Yeah,
and you can rain it into your mouth.
First it's blue, and then you put the grenadine in, and then it rains purple. So yeah, sounds pretty awesome, and we should do that one day.
What genre is that?
Purple.
Okay.
Prince. The genre is Prince.
Purple Prince. So Zakira and I 3 weeks ago decided to make flower crowns. I don't know why we decided to do that.
We've made like a flower crown a week in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, like for the 3 weeks straight.
Way.
Yeah, like there's some flower crowns behind us right now, like all piled up together.
There was a day where you guys made like 5 flower crowns.
Well, there's 4 right there, and
right.
Zakira has her 2, and then Sarah made like
a also bunch. Like the wheat crown.
Oh yeah, my grass and moss crown.
Yeah, that was cool.
At Sarah's house.
Yeah,
since it was like drying, so I should get that soon. It was pretty cool. I got like horns.
You need to get the
grass horns.
You need to get the katsu bergs from her too.
The what?
The katsu bergs.
Oh, those are good. Yeah. You guys didn't go yet. Oh wait, you weren't there. Ha. Okay.
Yeah, I was stuck at work for an extra 2 hours.
That really sucks. Really sucks. Yeah. Really sucks too. You actually had to work on cosplay. But, the flower crowns, I think we were trying to do a tutorial for them, and we ended up kind of doing our own thing with it. And it's, like, really easy, and I thought we needed hot glue gun, but all you needed was the flower wire.
Yeah.
And it's like, magic!
Didn't we, like, buy all the flowers? Like, yeah, we just need, like... We didn't even buy floral wire.
The first time we didn't. Because we're like, we started, because that was when I got the pumpkin one.
I got regular wire.
And then I had the pumpkin one, and then there's this, I couldn't say squash, or I kept saying sad squash instead of sass squash. I don't know.
Sasquatch?
Yeah. She was saying Sasquatch instead of sad squash.
Because the squash, like, the row of stuff I got, because it was very leafy.
Yeah.
And it has, like, pumpkins and a squash and everything. The one particular squash I was about to use for the crown looked very sad. Hence, Sasquatch, sad squash, whatever we called it.
Depressed gourd.
Very depressed. It was very sad. So I think at that point we're like, Zakira or Cat, we need to get some floral wire. And we refused to go to Michael's because we went there already.
Yeah, like, we were just at Michael's. I don't want to drive anymore. It's raining.
And she has a horrible windshield wipers.
Man, I'm just mad at the dealership for that. I'll get them changed eventually.
So we ended up going to a different crafting shop.
Yeah, because we can't go to the same store twice in one day.
No, we can't.
So the AC more farther, though?
It is!
Yeah.
I didn't want to go back there.
So yeah,
we drive by the Michael's to get to the AC Moore?
That's exactly what happened. So we drove by Michael's to go to AC Moore and got the floral wire.
Don't judge my life.
And apparently they didn't have brown floral wire. It's only green. And I was upset about that.
I mean, that sort of makes sense.
Yeah,
There was green floral wire. It just came in, like,
bulk.
It's
spool.
Stems. Not a spool, but like
sticks. Are you saying green? You mean
or not
brown?
green? Yeah, brown.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So that was fun.
Brown,
and
green. There we go.
Green. That sounds like blue and green, actually.
Ground.
I like that one.
I like ground.
Yeah.
Brown.
Ground's pretty good.
You're grounded.
Did.
So
I've invented a new color, Blello.
we ended up bringing it back and like made. I think we're on Crown 7 like collaboratively together. I don't know.
I don't know. There's
lost
a lot of foliage crowns.
Yeah, and we actually got a mini crown party like at my friend's house or our friend's house. We share the same friend. And yeah, that was fun. We just wanted to mention that, hey, you don't have to work on just cosplay, but like crafty stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, now that we actually got basically our news and stuff up, let's talk about Colin.
Oh, I'm on here for a reason.
Yeah.
So, Colin, we hear that you've done some closet cosplays, and we would love to hear about the armor, actually.
Lord.
I don't know where you want to start, but this is you.
We'll do this chronologically. I've only like, oh god. I guess I've only like sat down and like physically made 3 different costumes. Wait, yeah, basically 3 major costumes. But I've done a lot of closet cosplay because I've gone to cons since I was like 18 and like, Lord, that's like 7 years. Shit.
Oh man.
But yeah,
my 10-year anniversary of con going is NekoCon.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Anyway, back to Colin.
Yeah. And, like, we were, me and my group of friends, like, none of it, like, one of us was, like, pretty crafty, but he mostly just made stuffed animals and stuff. And none of us had any experience, like, actually making garments or anything. So, like, we'd always toss around ideas like, oh, yeah, we should cosplay, I'll cosplay this as a group, and, have fun at a con, blah, blah, blah. But it's always like, let's not get wigs, because wigs are dumb and cost money, and, like, let's just get, buy clothing from the thrift store, because, we were 18-year-old dudes, and we didn't care about craft or appearance or...
Yeah. You're going there just to have fun.
It's okay.
You're going there to have fun.
You know that you always need a wig if you're going to be competitive.
Yeah. But, I remember the first year that we really cosplayed was at NekoCon. I think we were actually, like, 19 or 20.
The next year.
Whatever. It was like pretty soon after Persona 4 had come out, and we were like super hype about that, and we were like, yeah, let's cosplay Persona 4, yeah. So like I was Dojima, and so that was pretty simple. It just came down to like,
wait, you weren't a male Chie? You don't have that jacket though.
That comes later.
Oh man! Oh my gosh, my mind is blown. Okay, go on.
This is Babby Colin. This is Babby Colin's first cosplay.
Babby Colin.
So I have like a nice pair of black slacks and like dress shoes and everything, and I get like a nice bright red tie, and I had this gray shirt. I basically had everything already, and this was around the time that I discovered that I looked really good with stubble. So I had some nice Dojima stubble going on. I had, I cut my hair for that cosplay.
What?
Up until that point, like, I don't think my hair was ever shorter than, like, 5 inches.
Huh.
It would just go between, like, a kind of messy, like, haircut to, like, full-on long hair over the past, like, 4 or 5 years. But anyways, so it had gotten kind of long, and then they were like, hey, you should cosplay Dojima. And I was like, alright. And realistically, haircut like Dojima's, it's very short cropped. He's a police cop. Japanese police cop. And so, that'd be a hard thing to do with a wig to begin with. So we were all not about wigs. So my brother got out his motorized clippers, and we just cut my hair down. And my hair was so thick, it almost burnt the motor out.
Nice.
Yeah. In fact, I think we actually had to finish it. We had to touch it up with dog hair clippers, because I killed the original clippers.
That's amazing, actually.
Here's where it goes awry. I'm like, Dojima is like a mid-40s-year-old dude. He's got, not nice, he's a silver fox. He's got a nice gray to his hair. And so I was like, I'm going to go pick up a spray bottle of silver hairspray.
Oh gosh.
So I was glittery Dojima. But the whole thing was like this weird mishmash between like stuff like that, where it was just like really just, why would you think that's a good idea? Our kanji, who, God, he looked great, but we bleached his hair and everything. None of us had ever dyed hair, ever.
Wow.
So we had to buy like 2 or 3 bleach kits. We still didn't get his roots perfect. He has really, really dark hair, so it ended up turning into like this orangey strawberry blonde kind of thing. But they were like, oh, well, so it wasn't like the platinum blonde kanji look. But then, like, you know, he had to, you know, put his hair back.
Slick it back.
So like my brother, who was a huge rockabilly at the time, was like, oh yeah, just get Murray's Superior pomade. That'll last all weekend. I use it all the time when I work as an electrician. And my pompadour never quits. And his pompadour never quit. So we were like, yeah, let's do that. Except we'd never used pomade before either. I don't think any of us had used hair product at all. So Murray's Superior pomade is this beautiful little orange tin with 2 African American individuals on the front.
That wax!
With very nice, yeah.
I tried it.
Yeah.
I've had that wax before
It
when I had
has a
short
very
hair.
nice smell to it. I really like it. I have really thick hair, so it's really good for me now that I know how to use pomade. But anyways, so we're like, oh, how do we use this? I don't know. And so he just just gets a big scoop full of it, and we just put it through his hair, and it's just, oh man, it was. After it dried a bit and we worked it a little bit more, it didn't look too bad, but it still looked
greasy,
a little greasy and a little derpy, and people made comments and fuck them. But anyways, but then you know, there was little points like that, and then there was the opposite kind of points, like our Yosuke Doink on
Actually, he's not Doink.
He's not Doink on Twitter, but I'm gonna call him Doink because I don't know.
He's 4 gigs of nothing.
I mean, he's weird about having his handles thrown out. So Doink, he's ginger. He has beautiful ginger locks. He is the only person in our group that didn't have a wig that actually, and he takes really good care of his hair, so he actually looked good not wearing a wig.
Just flowing hair.
Yeah, just perfect. And like he and our kanji did their summertime outfits. So he had on like this nice, like, you know, white collared shirt because the Persona stuff's really easy. And they'd actually like all the black like school uniforms for Persona have that weird like white like decorative trim.
Yeah.
And they each managed to find a pair of jeans that already had that done. So they were like set.
Nice.
And like our Yosuke got like a pair of wrenches and practiced with them enough to be able to like twirl them, but not enough so that he could still accidentally drop them like Yosuke actually does in the like little idle battle animation. He'll occasionally drop his wrenches, and it's really funny. And we made for the kanji, we did, since his summer outfit is like this little it's a black wife beater with like a flaming skull on it.
Yeah.
And we made a really nice stencil and hand painted the skull on it and with flames and everything. And we actually had 2 people walk up to us and ask us where we bought it from because it looked that legit.
Nice.
Also, I had just taken a graphic design class the semester before, so I made us all giant Persona Tarot cards that we could like hold around and stuff.
That's cool.
And it was a great weekend, and we had a lot of fun, and we looked kind of terrible, but it was a very successful closet cosplay. And that started a career of, I made like a punk rock Team Rocket guy, where I had like a big red R safety pinned on a shirt, and I had, you know, like ripped jeans and
the cool Team Rocket.
I bought cowboy boots for that.
Do you still have those?
Yes, he does.
I
Nice.
love those cowboy boots. I used them for Sayaka, which we'll get to. And there's, you know, just a couple other things here and there. Probably the thing that I've gotten the most recognized for was me and a girl did Isaac and Miria from Bacano, which was basically she bought a red dress and red shoes and a really nice blonde wig and styled it appropriately, and I put on my then formal wear and got a red bow tie and put my hair in a really shitty pompadour, and I had huge mutton chops at the time, and it just looked great. And I was oh man. So if you guys ever looked up Bacano cosplay?
Yeah.
You know the one really good Isaac and Miria pair, the one that do the Western outfits?
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't have the mutton chops?
Yeah.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, I was 20. I was 20, and I was a dick. And we met them, and they weren't in cosplay at the time, but they're like, oh yeah, like he was being like super like nice and generous, like, oh man, I love your Isaac, even though I'm a fucking shitty closet cosplay Isaac that didn't make a single thing on him. And I'm like, yeah, like not all the Isaacs have, mutton chops. And he was like, yeah, well, sometimes we just can't grow them. And I was just a complete dick to him, and I feel really bad about that. So,
oh my god,
if you ever hear this recording, guy who has the really good Isaac cosplay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
My gosh, we don't allow jerks in our podcast.
It's okay, we were all 20.
Yeah.
Most of us have reached 20 at some point. And
that was a dark year.
That
was a dark year.
We got videotaped by a rep from whoever dubbed Bacano. They had a couple reps walking around video cameras to film cosplayers, and they got a little spiel of us talking about our plan to steal all of the anime figures from Otakon, so the otakus had to go spend their money on like soap and food. And at a certain point, there was also, I did genderbent chie at the start of my genderbent phase.
Not gonna lie, that was when I first, I wouldn't say I first met you. We were wearing the chie
He's
jacket.
wearing it
I'm wearing the jacket right now because
so
I
that's
love
why,
this track jacket.
That's why I was so confused when you came in. I'm like, that's a chie jacket. Does he know that's a chie jacket? Because that's a girl's jacket. And I was so confused.
It's a unisex track jacket.
I know. But that's, didn't we just say we were all 20 once?
Yeah.
That was
that was the thought
21 or whatever.
Maybe 22, 23.
Whatever. I was so lost. I was just like,
it's whatever. So my genderbent chie cosplay, I had a beard, which was weird because Chie's like a 16-year-old. She would not, 17-year-old. She wouldn't have a beard, even if she was a dude. And I didn't detail my jacket at all because I didn't want to screw it up. And it was just kind of like, I didn't even, I wore it for 5 minutes at a photo shoot just because my friend who was also Yosuke also did a kind of thrown together genderbent Risei, and he had a cravat for it and everything. We were fabulous. But yeah, so, and my the black jeans I wore weren't detailed, like all this other stuff, and I had pins on my jacket, but they weren't like the correct pins. Whatever. It was a thing I wore because it was fun. Like, it wasn't something I set out to... And, that's a big thing. If you're just throwing something together for your closet cosplay, if someone's like, well, that's not detail accurate, blah, 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 blah. Well,
cosplay's for fun.
Yeah, you can have fun.
Cosplay's for everybody!
I wouldn't walk into a hall cosplay contest in that, because that would be dumb. But, yeah. So anyways, eventually, we came down to it. We're like, alright, we're gonna make cosplay this year. We're going to make cosplay for KatsuCon 2012. Or 2011? 2012?
2012, I think.
2012. Year was going to end. We wanted
2012.
year was ending in a month. And we were like, we got to do cosplay before the world ends. Madoka's real cool. And a really good friend of ours, I don't know what her handle is to reference it.
Give her code name.
She goes by F a lot. I can't. Her Twitter's private.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
just give it a code name.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but
I
just use a
can't
code
think
name.
of what to call it.
Yeah. Anyways, she's
Francine.
Really,
You said it starts with an F, right? Just start with.
She's a real cool lady, and she
Project
does
F.
real cool art, and she's real cool. And so
Oh wait, now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so she did these really cool drawings of this was back when Madoka just finished, and Penny and Stocking had finished, and a couple other things had finished. And because of Madoka and Penny and Stocking, you had this sudden burst of oh man, dudes are getting into cosplay, but they don't want to cosplay dumb dude characters. Genderbent. So you had a bunch of people making genderbent ideas for Penny and Stocking, and then some started to, one person drew Dude Mammy for Madoka. Or Madoka, excuse me. If I'm gonna give you crap over a Kamui, which we don't even know who's right, at least I can pronounce Madoka correctly.
Madoka? Madoka? There's a mother in there?
Monica. So, like, someone drew Man-Me, as he became to be known, and it got really popular, and so you had all these other people, like, throwing ideas around, and so this girl drew up some really nice drawings of how she interpreted it. The Man-Me was pretty much on point. It was just some more detailed stuff and that kind of stuff, and so Yosuke Rise guy was like, yeah, I'm gonna do Man-Me, because I want to walk around with a little teacup, and I'm gonna fill it with bourbon from a flask, and I'm gonna be drunk the whole weekend, and I'm gonna look fabulous. Because he had a little like cabbie hat with like a feather in it, and he had his cravat on from Rise, and oh my god,
he was a cutie.
Oh man,
he was a cutie.
And like he sewed some of his stuff, and then he had his mom help him with it too. But he had like this gorgeous vest, and like everything was so nice.
It was cute.
And then
did he actually wear a wig for that?
I didn't think
he didn't wear a wig the first day, and then our friend who drew the drawing convinced him, listen, you're gonna look so fabulous if you wear this stupid fucking wig, and that's we finally converted him to wearing wigs, and he looked great in it, and loudy.
Lordy! No, really. If you saw this costume, it was really good. Like it was on par. Yeah.
Then our other friend, Jesse from Bracket.com, he wanted to do, we were kind of in blah about who was gonna, because his favorite character is Sayaka. But I kind of already called dibs on it.
No doubles in my cosplay group.
Because I really like swords. But, so, like, he was like, and I, whatever. So he's like, alright, well, I'll do, what's her name? Red girl?
It starts with a K.
Gosh, I can't remember her name.
Kyoko. So he did Kyoko, and the girl's drawing through Kyoko. It was basically, like, there's the really well-known, or, like, a lot of the really well-known designs are, since Kyoko's, like, outfit isn't that, like, feminine, it's pretty, like, neutral. A lot of the genderbent cosplayers just make the same thing with some small alterations, like it doesn't have the boob window or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, like, he had our friend make the costume for him, and it was just above and beyond amazing. He painted the boots himself, and he did a good job at that. But it was like this crazy like pirate outfit. There was like a greatcoat vest, and he had like a huge fluffy like chest thing, and it was.
What?
Yeah,
I guess
it's called a cravat.
It's still the same idea.
And we were all trying to come up with like props that we could have around, and so Man-Me's was this little teacup with a little saucer, and that he could fill with honey bourbon whenever he wanted. That he did eventually spill all over his cravat on the second night. And then there was the Jesse decided, well, Kyoko's always eating apples. I need a snack for the whole con anyways. He got an entire like pound bag of apples.
Nice.
And just had smaller bags to carry them around. He handed them out to other cosplayers. We got really mad at people because they'd like, oh yeah, can I get an apple? Oh, thank you. And they like take a bite out of it, and they just leave it on the ground. Which is rude.
Yeah. Don't even finish it.
Like,
yeah, didn't she go into
food.
Yeah, wasn't she going like in the anime she was like,
and these are like Kyoko cosplayers who were just like, ha, apple, I'm gonna throw it in the garden. But Jesse was so beautiful, and like he had this long ponytail. It was amazing, and we even one of our jokes was that the difference between a Maguka and a male Guka was instead of having a soul gem, they'd have a soul patch.
Oh, yeah.
So we all grew out soul patches. I had a full beard before that, so I just had to shave everything down. Armand Meat was like, yeah, like I can totally grow a soul patch in time because he grows facial hair really fast. And then after he shaved everything else from the soul patch, he realized, wow, this is really hard to see when I don't have a full other beard because I like ginger hair. And then Jesse, who can't grow facial hair, we just trimmed bits off his ponytail and spirit gummed that to his little to his chin. And,
you guys had to do that for like each day of
we had to do it twice in one day because it fell off. Because it thin out just because it talking like will make spirit gum just gonna flake off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a little pointed one. And you were so cute. And then me, oh man, so I was Sayaka, because I like swords, and I really like Sayaka's character, and blue's cool color, and all this other stuff. So round 1 of Sayaka, I didn't know crap about sewing, so I was like, I went to my mom, and was like, hey, we're really keen on this idea of making costumes this year. We want to, this may or may not be one of the last Katsukons we can go to, at least all together as a group. We want to go out with a bang. So I'm gonna buy all this fabric, and I'm gonna pattern it all, and I'm gonna cut it all out. But I need your help sewing it. She was like, "Sure, son." And
I really like to think
she became a 1950s dad.
I really like to think she did that. So.
So, you know, I remember like cutting this cape out at 2 a.m, and like basically what happened was this was in a period where I was unemployed, and
best time to work on cosplay,
yeah,
because you got all the time in the world.
So
Yep.
I was like sleeping through most of the day, and then I'd get up and I'd do chores around the house to help out and like do yard work and like paint the house and stuff, and then go hang out with people and then come home, and then I would work through the night until I got tired and went to bed at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And so whatever I would work on, I would just leave on her sewing table, and then she would get up in the morning and take care of my niece and then work on my costume. And eventually we would meet up together in the middle. So, you know, like I cut out this cape. Oh, well, so the drawing, that our friend did is like, I think a lot of the Sayaka, the male genderbent Sayaka designs out there are terrible because they don't carry over shapes. They basically just carry over colors and really basic ideas. A big thing is like Sayaka has this cool little like boob chest plate thing, and the only thing they carry over into the male designs is they turn it into a Japanese style archery breastplate, which pisses me off so much. And like, you know, Sayaka's design has all these cool diagonal lines to make her asymmetrical, and they never carry any of that over to the male design. And there's like stupid JRPG gems thrown on it, and just they rarely, if ever, carry over like the musical jewelry that Sayaka. Like I have a lot of feelings about this design.
His feels.
Yeah. I know these feels.
These feels
and,
know.
Our friend's design took some liberties, but it was basically like, alright, so Sayaka is supposed to just be like this swordy, I'm a girl, but I can beat him up because I have agency and da-da-da-da. And it had this, you know, this breastplate thing. So she was like, I'm going to start with breastplate. It looks like a Roman gladiator breastplate. So male Sayaka design is going to have a breastplate that has sweet abs and nips on it.
Why not?
So cool, and like had this, and it was like, oh well, you know, she has this asymmetrical pleated skirt. It has this nice lined effect, which is exactly like, you know, a leather like Roman like soldier skirt. She was like, let's do that, but just, you know, on an angle, and like all this other cool stuff they got thrown around. And like, you know, little booties and da-da-da-da-da. So, you know, I start making the costume, and like I buy a bunch of vinyl and cut it out into strips to sew together and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, armor's hard, and I'm new to cosplay. So I'm going to go with the recommended easy tutorial, which is just taking craft foam, sandwiching it together, heating up and forming into shapes, and then gluing it. And it worked out pretty well. It wasn't a very well finished product. It didn't look great.
I remember the first armor now suddenly.
Yeah, but like, you know, I painted it up, and it was a really good effort.
I saw the second version, didn't I?
Yeah, you saw the second version.
Okay, go on.
We'll get the second version. Yeah. Round 2 will go much faster. But yeah, so, you know, and I had I found some wooden dowels in my craft closet, or little wooden balls, and so I cut them in half and glued them on for nipples, and our friend made me this I was gonna wear like this just like a Under Armour as kind of like an undershirt kind of thing, because she has these weird like arm socks or whatever, and I couldn't figure out like, oh, well, what am I gonna, like, it looks weird with all this weird black space between this blue breastplate and then my blue skirt, and there's not enough white, and just have this cape. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And so she was like, I'm going to make you this little weird half shirt thing that's parted down the middle, and I'm going to put some gold ruffles on it, and you'll look fabulous. And I did, and it was and like they helped me cut the wig, and it was. And, like, I at the end, I was like, crap, I can't find anything good to do boot cover, no, wait, I went to do boot covers, and, I realized I didn't buy stretch fabric at the last minute, and that didn't work out. They didn't, and I couldn't glue them onto the shoes correctly and just all this other stuff, so it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna take my cowboy boots from Team Rocket Cosplay, and I'm gonna polish them with, navy blue polish, and no one will ever notice the difference. And so yeah, and I needed a prop, so I had a bottle of scotch that I had finished, and I made my own label for it that said, I can't remember Doka's last name, but it was the whatever family, Walpurgis knocked, scotch.
Whataburger night.
Yeah. It's a really cool bottle, I'm really proud of it, I still have it somewhere, I still drink water out of it occasionally, but yeah.
Just water.
And then we went to Katsucon, and we had a great time, and da-da-da-da. And then we left Katsucon, and there was also a blizzard. But anyways, so year 2, we're like, all right, we're doing. Well, originally this was for NekoCon. I wanted to do an update of Sayaka. There were I liked it, but there were things I wasn't happy about. The breastplate didn't hold together all weekend. It broke a little bit, and I would have had to remake it anyways. So I was like, I'm gonna I have some more experience. I'm going to take my experience as an art student and do some casting and that kind of stuff. So I had this whole big plan, and I didn't like the skirt. I have some plans, I'm not going to use vinyl, I'm going to use fabric. And I learned some very, very big things redoing this costume. One, hand draping and sewing together a cloak or a cape to look really nice and pose all the time. Really easy, and you should do it whenever possible. Don't just throw a cape over your arm and oh yeah, I'll keep it all that day. Take the time to fold it up and crease it and sew it together, and it'll be fantastic and everyone will love it. 2, don't make anything out of gabardine, ever. Gabardine is horrible.
That's a lie.
Phrase.
That's a lie. If your experience.
Very, 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 very limited sewing experience like Colin did at this point in time, do not use gabardine, because it frays a lot. But if you know what you're doing and you can do it quickly, it's no big deal.
I found out I was also using the wrong needle for it. There's a range of needles that are better for doing gabardine than others.
Makes sense, because the finer needles are better for, say, silk or whatever the other one I was using.
And I think I may have had ballpoint needles because we were doing fleece.
Yeah.
At that time.
Well, I was using Kelly's sewing machine.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Anyway,
yeah,
but
we did Mordecai and Rigby.
Oh yeah, and then I made.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Before I remade Sayaka, we made the Mordecai and Rigby jackets. And
I felt cheated on. You're making a couple's cosplay with your actual boyfriend without me. Yeah, Zakira and I do a lot of couples cosplays.
I mean, I'll totally do Mordecai and Rigby cosplay with you.
No, I can't be Mordecai now. I just can't.
Now she just doesn't want to be Mordecai.
So I had to be Dawn.
So we're gonna be Rigby and Eileen.
Whoa, no!
Eileen cool though.
Actually,
it's not like it's Margaret.
The one episode I've seen her. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, everybody's better than Margaret.
But I ended up being Dawn versus Colin being Mordecai and Zakira being
those
Rigby.
abs you made for the Dawn hoodie.
Yeah.
So good.
That's why I was like, you should do that for the Sayaka for version 3.
Are you Luigi in a Tanuki suit who works out a lot? Yeah. Anyways, gabardine is a really nice fabric. It's got a really nice texture. Get some experience before you use it. It's really nice fabric for people who have put in the time to learn how to sew things. It is not for us babies that don't know how to sew.
I do recommend twill. Twill's pretty
sports
thin.
twill.
Yeah,
no, good.
I learned that lesson.
Yeah, twill's pretty good.
With my redemption story. So anyways, if you're trying to sew 22 little 1.5-inch spears of fabric for a skirt, don't.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I helped you.
You did. You helped me a lot. You helped me iron everything out to make it a lot easier for me. I never would have finished that if it weren't for you. Man, that's another thing. If you're learning, make sure you have experienced people around you to help.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. But yeah, even we got the skirt done, and the skirt was technically sound with everything, but even then, it didn't. I still couldn't, the volume of what I wanted to get with it and the coverage I wanted to get with it just couldn't happen. And that's the reason I don't want to do the cosplay anymore. But the worst part was, I'm like, alright, I have experience casting things. I've cast in silver before. Like, I can cast a thing in fucking plastic, whatever. So I'm like, alright, I made a body double of my torso, and I got a bunch of modeling clay, and I sculpted the most rockin', developed torso ever. It had abs and...
It was good.
Yeah, and...
It had
pecs.
some... Yeah.
Oh, man, it was a nice torso. Yeah.
He's getting turned on by his own torso he made.
And like, we'll have to like find some old pigues of it.
I'm pretty sure it's on your Instagram.
Yeah,
it was
on
good.
My
Instagram. I have it on my phone. We can upload pictures, whatever.
I guess we'll actually add pictures.
We say that, but we never
and
do.
So like, I had made sure to start early with everything. I budgeted out all my time correctly, except after I had finished sculpting everything, which did take maybe a couple days longer than I wanted it to. I got all that done, and then I went, and then I covered it all in, I started making the mold, and the mold went by fine. We had some minor fume issues with that, which clued me off to, hey, if I'm going to be pouring resin epoxy into this mold, well, maybe I should make sure I do it outside. Here's the thing about pouring resin.
Don't do it in the winter.
Well, yeah, don't do it in the winter. Because it's heat, it requires heat. Heat is what cures the plastic. So if you do it in winter, in February, in January, when it's like 30, 40 degrees out, well, you have to put a shit ton of catalyst in it. You have to put a ton of catalyst in it. But if you put that much catalyst in it, then it won't cure correctly either. So, after using most of my resin, pouring a ton into this mold, trying to make sure everything was thick enough, I finally go to pop it out, and it's very, very uneven. The edge didn't form all the way. Like, I had made a very fine kind of rolled edge to it, and that didn't take all the way, and so I had to sand it down a lot. And then I covered it in gesso a ton, and then I painted it, and and this was like right up to the last minute. Oh yeah, so a bad thing with pouring resin in the winter is you leave it outside for a long time, for like 2 or 3 times as long as it's recommended, to make sure that you don't gash your roommates. And then you bring it inside, and you're like, all right, it's it's still kind of tacky, but that's just because it didn't cure well enough. And then you bring it inside, and suddenly it's in 70-degree environment, and all that catalyst is like, hell yeah, and then you almost kill one of your roommates who has a very sensitive respiratory system, because it's been sitting in your kitchen all day, which is right below his room, and, yeah, that was bad. So, yeah, don't
Cosplay kill the man.
Don't kill your roommates.
Ideally, you want to have all your resin casting done in the spring or the fall when it's around 70 degrees and it's perfect and you can account for everything and no one will die. Or if you have a garage. But yeah, so around, I finished it and I let it sit for a day, and then when I went to go check on it, because it was so uneven and because it hadn't cured properly, the whole thing was incredibly flexible, but not flexible in the way that I can move this around a lot, but flexible in if I let gravity have its way, it's going to destroy this thing. So I had to set it up under bottles of stuff to keep it the right shape, and I had to ship it in a box in the back of my car and all this other stupid stuff. And then the whole thing just fell apart on me the whole weekend. It was just really, really bad, and I got really depressed. I didn't even want to wear it anymore. Yeah, it was just bad. It was falling apart. I felt really bad about it. It didn't help I was going through a weird time either, but there was so much stuff with that costume that I was just unsatisfied with. I finally got boot covers to go, and they worked, but they weren't good, and the whole costume fell apart by Saturday, and it was just I threw a lot of money into that costume, and to this day, anything that I'm gonna be throwing a comparable amount of money into that requires skill, I feel wary about, and if I'm not 100% it doesn't need to be great, but I'm not. So this
bit, I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
And that's the thing, Your stuff is even worse because like it's not even like the claws. Like you wanted to do like a whole engineered thing. With
Yeah,
those,
like I actually wanted it animatronic and everything. It's just
and like even if you would have cut it down to just having like dumb claws, I guess.
Yeah.
You could definitely do that. Like I think everything that went wrong with Using Go for you is just like you got a ton of really bad luck. And
yeah, so it's
just
like
sucks.
It's so hateful.
And so like I don't want to because like that dumb luck stuff can always happen. But I don't want to go into anything, like, dumb luck stuff can be like, alright, this costume is going to be crappy instead of great. But, like, going into, like, doing Soldier with Zakira, I was like, I'm not even sure I can make this they would hold together all weekend. And I don't want to be in a situation like that again, so it's just like, I'm going to stick with easy costumes till I'm confident. Which is really nice, because at Cat and Zakira this past year...
We got progress!
Yay!
I was Joe Hibiki from Gotcha Man.
Or male Ryuko.
Yeah, Gotcha Man crowds. Lord, so, I don't know if you're familiar with Gotcha Man crowds. I'm gonna assume you are familiar with Kill la Kill. The Joe Hibiki from Gotcha Man crowds has this very nice, like, long to medium, green hair. And then, like, the underside of it is red, kind of like Stocking's hair is purple with underside pink. So it's got these little like Gotcha Man crowd's character models are off in half their episodes or weird or whatever, but everything's always like all the designs in that are kind of hard to do anyways. So anyways, a lot of the like character wigs I'd seen for it that were for sale were like, oh well, we're just gonna have some of these green parts be red for no reason. I was like, that looks dumb. I'm gonna experiment and I'm gonna sew red wefts underneath a green wig, and it turned out really great. It also ended up looking a lot like Ryuko's hair from Kill la Kill. And again, genderbent cosplay for dudes is still kind of a big, huge thing. And like all the dudes love Kill la Kill, and all the dudes want to be Ryuko. So there's a bunch of guys running around in Ryuko costumes. So I'm in this white jumpsuit that I made in a short amount of time, and I was very, very pleased with. A white jumpsuit with, some black detailing and a little belt and my wig. And...
It was good.
Yeah, no, it was really good. It's really simple. It was a good, like, beginner cosplay for me to do. And so I'm running around in it, and I'm like, I'm a Gotcha Man, gotcha, and whatever. And literally, like, 4 or 5 people walked in and was like, oh, man, I love your Kill la Kill cosplay. Or like, oh, dude, are you supposed to be Ryuko, the dude? And I'm like... No. No, I'm not.
To be fair, I did the same thing, but I was genuinely confused. I was like,
well,
I thought you
because
were.
You'd also heard me and Brandon talk about doing genderbent.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
I forgot about that.
So you did it?
Yeah.
That's why I was really confused.
Yeah, man, that's the thing that I don't know how to feel about is being in one costume and being recognized for something completely different. And when I actually put the time into it, at least it was nice to have, like, people like, I was like, oh, yeah, your costume looks so good. I love Kill la Kill. It's like, at least they think I look good. Not to be confused when, a long time ago, it was right after the Scott Pilgrim movie had come out, and we did a big, again, closet cosplay group. Oh, Lord, No, we decided we weren't going to have a Scott Pilgrim, so no one did Scott Pilgrim. So I was like, I'll be Wallace Wells. Because I've got a sweater and a collared shirt and a peacoat, and I can walk around with my phone out and drink coffee and hit on the guy that was playing the skateboard guy. So it was a good, fun
Captain
time.
America.
Yeah, Captain America. So, but then, we palled around for a little bit, and we had like a big old photo shoot, and like some guy from some big gaming website was like, oh, that's cool, let me take pictures of you. And, and then we like went our separate ways to enjoy NekoCon. And so I'm walking around, I've got on this red sweater with a gray collared shirt underneath it, and then just a gray peacoat on top of it. Women's peacoat, because they have a nice little bustle on the back. And, some jeans and whatever, and I have short brown hair and whatever. So I'm walking around, and from halfway across the artist alley, this girl with a table literally screams screams across the whole artist alley, "Oh my god, are you Doctor Who?" And I'm like, no. No, I'm not.
Nice. Anyway, I wanted to, because when you were talking about the armor piece,
Yeah.
I came up, like, I just thought of this. I'm like, wait a minute, this one chick did this, I don't know if it was the 15 Minutes of Fame for, like, the official, Venture Brothers cosplayers, that she did this really deep...
on Adult Swim?
Yeah.
I think that was Riddle?
Was it? I don't know.
The one who did Dr. Mrs. the Monarch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Riddle. Yeah.
Okay, so she made a comment about how she used a mannequin to do the plunging V.
Yeah.
Just, like, cut
Why
it
don't
open.
you do the male mannequin?
Well, here's the thing that I discovered was when I was first like, hey, yeah, I like...
Yeah, you can get, like,
Yeah.
the torso and everything.
Like, I was looking up all these different, when I was doing, like, my research during the summer, I was looking up all these different tutorials for, like, how to do armor and, like, how people did armor. I didn't want to do foam again because I had a very small kitchen. I didn't want to buy a heat gun. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna stick to the skills that I know how to do. And, like, forming the foam was great last time, but, like, I don't want to spend... This was back in the Wild West days of Warbler. And I didn't want to do that, or I didn't want to get the other heat forming one. I forgot what Wonderflex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I know how to sculpt things and cast them. That's easy. So I was like, why doesn't and then I could have also done a fiberglass thing.
That's not recommended, especially with your level.
No, that's that, and like that was like the only do fiberglass if like you've got a ton of experience, and I was like, I don't.
I don't.
Which I regret because I could have gotten fiberglass experience in college, but whatever.
Oops. Yeah.
If only I would have known I would have needed to become a magical girl years later. So I'm like, why are none of these people talking about resin casting? I only see people talk about resin casting when they're doing small things. That's dumb. Or they just don't want to do it on a large scale?
Well,
turns out, you have to get higher quality resin, and it's really difficult. And if you don't do it at very specific temperatures, the entire thing turns into a sloppy mess.
So it's like baking.
Yeah, basically. If anyone out there is some young, cockeyed, cocksure 20-something who's like
20-year-old.
Like, yeah, like I've cast more complicated metal than this before. I could do resin casting. Don't at that size. Resin casting, stick to small stuff that'll cure in a couple of minutes, not like 15 or 20. Don't do some big gargantuan chess piece. Use Warbler or find out how to pad out leather and sculpt that, or do anything but use resin.
Yeah. If you ever do
foam,
expanding foam?
Expanding foam, yeah. If you ever do version 3, I would say probably you'd do this and cut it to the form that you... I'm looking at a half torso mannequin display, and it's already plastic, so...
I mean, that's the thing, is if I went and bought just a torso and got a full torso, then I could just then make everything so much easier because I could just cut it the way I wanted it.
Exactly.
And then it'd be thick, it'd be heavy enough that I could just put hardware straight on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it'd be
so
easy.
I would love to see it in the future if you ever do.
I'm probably never gonna do it.
I've
run out of steam on it. I really don't want to do it.
I'm sure there's another guy, not genderbent.
Yeah.
That uses a gladiator inspired.
Oh god, I remember the... Oh man, it was the first year I did Sayaka. There was a guy and a girl who did what is it called? Not Final Fantasy, but Dragon Quest. One of the, it's like Dragon Quest 4 when you first have the option to pick out your dudes, kind of like how you had in Final Fantasy. All the Final Fantasy. It was like Dragon Quest 4 was like Final Fantasy 1, but with Akira Toriyama art. And the warrior designs from that are really, really cool, and they both had the same kind of sculpted muscle thing, but with more armor. And there was this guy and the girl there that it looked absolutely amazing. It looked like they hand sculpted leather and metal armor on their own, and I feel really bad because I saw them from across a room and was like, I need to ask that guy how he did that because that's what I want to do. And I ran over and then I lost them.
I think that's Aw. I have no words, I'm sorry. But,
Your future cosplay plans?
yeah.
Future cosplay plans. I'm having trouble getting myself into it, but I do want to do a Fire Emblem cosplay. I've been thinking about Donald. There's some other stuff I want to do, but Donald's within my skill range.
One of these days you'll do Soldier from
I still want to do Soldier from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I've really liked Tactics Ogre too, like doing stuff like that. I want to be a sword guy. I've always wanted to do Renly from Game of Thrones, and I don't really have any specific set. Oh wait, I do have a specific set plan. I forgot that I'm gonna be. If you played the game Nidhogg,
Oh yeah.
I am gonna be a Nidhogg. I still need to order a couple of things, but I'm just gonna get a Zentai suit and a cheap fencing mask, and I'll spray paint the fencing mask with the same color, and maybe get some like chucks that are the same color as the Zentai suit, and then just get a big old dowel and put a big gulp cup on it to make that chunky looking rapier that they have in the game. And it'll be a whole lot of fun, and I'll get to be a little Nidhogg.
You need the worm, like, at the end,
God,
though.
yeah. Just have, like, somebody in a giant, like, peach, like, sleeping bag just, like, run at
All I could think of is, like,
me.
those Chinese dragons, and, like, there's 4 or 5 people in it, and then you
Oh
just
my
have
God.
that. Can we make that?
Yeah.
We need to make that.
We gotta get the Bracket Podcast in this.
Ooh,
Just saying.
We can make a Nidhogg, and then we could also make one that's, Bracky.
Well, that's what we want to do, actually, is for
Make
Macro.
a Bracky costume.
Bracky the Brachiosaurus. But,
Cat has a theme song for him.
because it's
Maybe-
Bracky. No, I'm not gonna sing it.
She started it, but
Brachiosaurus. Okay, that's it. That's
the
it.
lyrics still need to be worked out.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to Bracky.
Well, we want to do a shout-out to our, what did we call them? We call them, podcast senpais?
Podcast Senpai, the Brack Street Boys.
Yeah. But, like, you can see them, we threw their names out this entire podcast, bracketpodcast.com. Check them out, they're pretty awesome. They're on season 3 in short time. Actually, I think they're...
Week after next week.
Yeah, so, yeah, they want to check them out. They're awesome. They're cool. They have strong opinions that I'm upset about sometimes, but whatever.
All the time.
Yeah.
What, are you pro Krillin? Is
Do
that
you-
what's going on?
I have not
you
watched that
listen-
episode. I'm
Do
more
you
upset about the
enjoy
villains.
shows about people who are wrong all the time? The Bracket Podcast is for you.
Anyway, any other shout-outs you want to do?
Also, recent addition to the Solid Platinum Hit Machine Productions network, Dan McKinney and his show A Brief Escape,
Yeah.
which I gush about on Twitter all the time while I make fun of him.
While
I feel bad
harassing the
about
host.
Yeah, I want to shout out to
Kamui.
Kamui, because I did it last
Kamui.
time. Whatever. I'm shouting out to that. Shouting out to those tutorials out there, cosplaytutorial.com, whatever it's called.
Shout out to cosplayers who share what they do.
Yeah.
I'm
Shout out-
sorry that I'm not one of them because I don't take pictures.
And-
Shout out to moms that help their kids learn how to sew for
What? No, I don't have
Shout out to moms.
Yo, I didn't have that. I had to learn by myself. I am my own cosplay
Did
mama.
you train
Okay.
alone on a mountain?
Yeah, I had to like meditate and everything.
Did you have to learn how to sew stretch fabric under a waterfall?
Yes.
Same.
I had to, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
my
how we
mom
do
doesn't
it.
support this hobby.
So
But shout out to moms who do. So I guess shout out to my friends' moms.
yeah, shout out to friends' moms. That isn't me or Zakira's moms.
Yeah.
We love them to death, but they don't
Well,
do sewing.
you guys are like our moms.
We're the cosplay mamas.
Yeah.
I guess.
So,
People
whatever.
don't really come to me for things, which is fine.
Anyway, so thank you so much for listening to our really long episode this week, but hey, it's our 6 months.
That's
so.
my fault. I'm so long-winded. I don't know how to tell a short story.
Actually, but we enjoyed it, so
I go into circles a lot. I'm still mad I'm not playing Smash Brothers.
whatever. So thank you again, Colin, for coming on the show, and we'll see some things in the future from
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll post your progress photos.
Well, I actually take them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so maybe I'll link to your progress photos, okay?
Maybe I'll start taking your progress photos.
You want to start running our Tumblr?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh Lord, no! I can be a photographer, but I'm not running a Tumblr.
Well,
I did. I have the only footage of Katsucon Queen Bee.
That is true.
It's true.
It's true.
He has the only footage of that costume, unfortunately.
It's really good. I don't
It's cute.
I don't get why you think it's like I get that it didn't meet your expectations, but it's real good.
Cat costume.
No. I'll give this to Colin that we are really hard on ourselves, but we're the phrase is the toughest critic is yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that, Zakira. I understand that, Colin.
Yeah.
With that said, Zakira, I totally support you thinking that it's a bad costume because I think the same thing with my costumes, okay? It's okay. No, it's okay.
I'm just putting my head down.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're gonna end this with a spooky con story.
So you're at the con, and you go to a meetup, and you meet a nice, quiet guy there. He seems pretty cool. You chat him up a little bit, and you and your friend are like, hey, we're gonna go back to our room and get some drinks. You're welcome to join us. Seem pretty cool. And he's like, nah, man, I'm gonna meet up with some of my friends. So you and your friend leave, and you also leave with your 3 friends who are girls who are staying in the same room that you came with, and they're in Toho cosplay. And you head to your elevator, and in the elevator is the guy. Keeps going up and up and up, and you're on the 15th floor, and come the 12th floor, it's just you and your friends and this guy. And then you get out of the elevator, and he tries to come with you guys, and you're like, hey man, we invited you to our room, and you said no, because you were gonna go with your friends. And he just says, but I really like Toho.
Spooky!
I really love that story.
Doing a professional radio show on the internet.